Greetings, class. I wanted to share some additional insights about part 3 of the marketing plan, which is due in week 6. I know I described briefly in another video that you should be looking at it from the perspective of the simulation, the decisions you made throughout the simulation, your research that you've conducted on your target market, and also the segmentation that you've determined when you divided up your target market in part 2. But I also want to look at each element that you are responsible for as well. So let's take a look at the product. The first thing you should do in this section is describe your product in the most detailed format that you can think of. Give us a visual image of what that shoe is going to look like. Include the product packaging. Are you going to have paper in there? Some people are going to have like shoe covers, whatever the case may be. Just share, get as detailed as possible so we can actually visually, be able to think in our minds, oh, this is what your product is going to look like when the consumer receives it. So make sure you're also discussing in terms of the product, again, the look, the pricing, how the consumer is going to receive the product. If it's not shipped directly from you, how are they going to get it? And again, this is where you discuss any changes you'd like to make to the product or the product line based on your research. Are you going to change any features, benefits, packaging, labeling, any changes? And make sure you share how this will differentiate your product from the competition. In week 6, we talk a lot about competitive advantage. And this is really the section of the marketing mix where you can have an advantage with that product. Okay? So next, look at the price. If you decide to change the pricing strategy, justify why you're changing the pricing strategy. Explain why. Be specific. If possible, compare it to other similar products that you have seen in the simulation or real-world products. But this is a place where you should clearly identify your price. So select one price. I know that during the simulation you may have done, different prices in different periods, but now is the time to determine what is the best price for your product domestically and internationally, okay? Place. How is your consumer going to receive the product? Are you online? Are you only sold at Neiman Marcus? How can they purchase the product? So please be sure to explain in detail how the consumer is going to receive the product. Share your distribution strategy. For example, are you going to manufacture it, sell it to Neiman Marcus, who is an intermediary, and Neiman Marcus will sell the goods to the end user, the consumer? Share this in detail and explain why this is the best strategy for your target market, okay? Now, in terms of vertical markets, I just talked about it. Are you going to use a third-party partner to distribute? That's a third-party partner would be like a Neiman Marcus. Are you going to go direct to the consumer through online or through your own store? So you're just getting into more detail here about how the consumer is going to receive the product. And are you going to sell differently to the different target markets? Or market segmentations, excuse me. Because in week 5, part 2 of this assignment, you were able to take your large target market and segment it. So you may find that when you segmented it, that some people will would rather go to a store. Some people would rather purchase online. So kind of share that as well. Okay, and when you go global, how is your global consumer going to have access to your product? So the same thing for your global market. Okay. Promotions. Which tools are you going to use? Are you going to use advertising? Are you going to use personal selling? Are you going to use sales promotions, public relations? Please share specifically what you're going to use and why. And if you changed it, explain why the change was necessary to meet your objectives. Okay? And if you decide to do PR, please explain that PR strategy, highlight some of the key points that and goals of your PR strategy, share the plan, maybe a little bit of your calendar, speaking engagements, things of that nature. In terms of your advertising, how much you plan on spending on the ads, what type of ads you plan on creating and why, and just an overall overview of the strategy. Personal selling, if you choose that, the same thing applies there. Share exactly how you plan on selling, from a personal selling perspective, shoes, and how everything will work, the timing, your goals, budgeting, all of that. Okay? And finally, other promotions. If there's anything else that you plan to do promotional-wise that hasn't been discussed previously, again, share the strategy, how you plan to accomplish it, your goals, and your budget. So I just wanted to provide some additional insight on part 3. As it relates to part 4, that is in the first video, which should be labeled part 1. So I just wanted, again, to provide some additional insight on part 3, which is the new marketing mix, just to give you more details and kind of guide you. I hope that this video is useful. Excuse my voice. It's a little strained for some reason, so I apologize for that in advance, or at the end, because it's the end of the video. But if you have any questions or concerns, as always, please give me a call or email me. And I am looking forward to some fantastic marketing plans because you guys did a phenomenal job in week 5, and I'm looking forward to week 6. Have a great day.